I forgot to record. It's important. So we went through this tag, attribute, a lot of exercise, image list. So now we'll start with the CSS. How many you know CSS? Any idea? Please raise your hand if you don't know. 1 or 2% doesn't know. But I have seen your exercise before you enter this class. So probably you did some HTML and CSS. So I saw many of us have some knowledge about the HTML and CSS. So I designed the class in a way that it should be a bit not that simple, not that complex. It should be mixed. So some of you can feel lost. So don't worry, ask question and get help with the mentors. We have 2 mentors here. Also, one more, Pedro.
Hopefully.
So we'll be going around and help you guys, okay? But one thing is important. So I want to make this session is interactive, So I will ask questions and probably we'll do some together. So while I'm talking or something, don't type anything. Don't look at your computer. That's important. And then we will do the coding together, So that's very important. Otherwise, you will miss some of the key elements that I will be talking. Okay. So let's do the first thing first. We need to do some CSS, right? And who can say what is CSS means? I mean, stand for?
That's good.
It mentioned there, right? Complex name. Don't bother about the name. So we should, for doing this, we need to ready our project. So we need some HTML page and some element that we can work with or play with, right? So before I go into deep, what is CSS means and what should we do, and then, so let's set up our project. Okay, before the session lunch, we did create a HTML page with a lot of elements, right? So let's fix that one. So you will do exactly what I do. Don't do more. Okay, if you're doing more, then you'll be making making things complex, and you'll not be able to follow. Do more in the homework. Feel free. So if you have a Windows machine, so you can go to desktop or somewhere in the folder, or if you have a Mac machine, you can go somewhere that you can right button and click right button and create a folder. Can you do that, please? And like this, so you can say week 1. Folder name week 1. Can you create a folder quickly in your machine? 2 seconds. Done? Okay, great. So if you are done, then you have a index page file, right, somewhere? Yeah. So move the file in this page, in this folder. Sorry. So we created this one here. Copy. I'm moving mine. You do the same for you. You all done? I assume that you're done. It's very simple, right? It doesn't need a IT specialist knowledge. Okay. Then you will probably see that your all index. You should close the index page from your IDE. So remove it and then open it again from the folder you moved. Are you following all? Okay. So did you move open the new file, new index from the same folder that we have just created now? Okay, great.
It's all recorded anyway, so you can...
Yeah, it's recorded. So.
Yeah.
And sorry, just when you move just your index.html file, you will see that if you open it now in the browser, all your pictures are gone because it's a different folder.
That's true.
So if you want your pictures to be there, also move them to the same folder.
Okay, don't move now. I will move together. Okay.
Move them later.
So we'll do exactly what I do. So okay, don't do more, don't do less. So are you all set? Please, if you are not done, raise your hand so I can go, or we can go quickly and help you. Okay. So now we also open the page to see our output. I don't know where it's mine. Yeah. So week 1, double click, so it will open in the browser, right? Yes. So you can see this is broken, right? Image is not available, right? All you can see that. Then you're good. If you still see the image, then it's not set up yet. Great. Okay. So then start with this slide. I put some effort to create some slide this morning. I want to show them. Okay. So, who can tell what is CSS is for? What it does? Styling. What sort of styling?
The content.
So we have seen that in the previous session, the HTML. So HTML you write some text, head, body, and table, a lot of things. Then it make visible your content in the website, right? Browser, right? You can see them, right? But it's not like good, it's not that good experience. You can't actually. If I open this one, you see here. So you never seen this sort of website in real life, right? It's too immature or something. So HTML does what? It just structure your element, and CSS decide how it should look like. Okay, that's it. So CSS decide how it should look like, and HTML it does do the structuring, right? So if you want to add some content, so you should always do in HTML. Moving is too much move. Yeah. So, and how many we know? You know that how to write a CSS syntax. I mean, at least something. So you raise your hand. Only 2% doesn't know how to write a CSS, right? So you should know all of the guy that at least creating as some styling, right? Okay. So let's do something then. If you know that. So here you have seen that we have a hello world title, right? I'm just quickly, don't do it yourself. I will let you know how you have to do. Just quickly, I can say, okay, I'm creating a new element for my, it's too complex now. I want to make it a bit simpler. So HYF, for instance, hack your future, right? And it's like this, right? And if I go to feature, it's something with no color, right? Okay. So how can I make it, let's say, a green color? It's black, right? You can see it's black. So can anyone help me to make it green with the styling CSS color? Sorry? So I can write.
You have to put attributes style.
I can write like this, right? Somebody saying attribute style, right? Style, something like that, right? And what is this you said? Color? Color? Green. Right? See the reflection. That I think if you are not color, is it visible from there far? Yeah. Green. Okay, so we can see this is green, right? It's beautiful. So okay, so let's make more item. So what can I make? Feature. I need to create more elements. So is it okay, Svetlana, I remove the elements
Yeah,
here?
totally, yes.
So I can, follow, yes. So just for making simplicity, I'm just removing everything so it should look nice. Just hack your feature. And what element you can imagine, we can add. So we are doing both, structuring plus styling together. Paragraph? Okay, good. Paragraph. So something about the, the organization here, right? We can, I can go. It's coming here all the time. Do you know this site, Lorem Ipsum? It's very popular, right? You can copy some dummy text. And we don't know about the hacker feature, right? So we cannot actually write that many text. So we just copy and paste here. Code selection. Do you know how to make it wrap, Svetlana? So how can I make the word wrap?
You need to format.
Sorry? Is it in view? Toggle word wrap. Yes, nice, great. So I can see everything in one, one screen. Otherwise, it was like the line was distributed too long, right? You can't see the structure. So it's now more visible. Okay. So let's see how it's look like. It's look like that, right? And here's one more. So okay. Okay. So if I want to make this a bit, stylish, what can I make?
The size or
Font size, right? So what style I can write? How to write a CSS? Like the same way we did, right? Style,
font size.
style,
Font dash size.
font, their size. Yes. What's the what's the value should be here?
15, sorry.
Like this?
Yeah,
Pixel?
15 the px.
So it's now a bit smaller, right? So before 15. Why it's showing translation? Oh, it's same? Crazy. Okay. Let's make it bigger. Okay. So it looked beautiful. Okay. So I made it 15, right? So we can also change the color if you want, right? And give me one more element we can add. For instance, we can say, we can create a table like we did last time. Table. Okay. I'm so bad in typing. And what the table structure has? Element. TR, let's say, and then TD, right? And I can say, name. Okay, we can call it TR, right? What is the head? TH. You should be expert by now. And then
Has to be within
TR, right? What is it? TD, right? To have the header. I can copy the same, and then here I can say city. I can create one more. For instance, profile. Let's see how does it look like, right? I just refresh the page and it's looking like that. So name, city, profile, right? And the next row I can say create 3 element, same. And then name is probably it's complex name, Anu. And then which city you're from here? In Copenhagen? Something. So here we'll be creating some link. Okay. Link. I'm doing the repeated thing you did last time. So probably your LinkedIn profile. Does everybody have LinkedIn profile yet already, or at least Twitter, LinkedIn, or something, Facebook? Something. Okay. Oh.
Like, it shouldn't be like your TS instead of TD and TR instead of TS.
Sorry?
that
In the header, it should be TR.
Like in the first row.
Here?
The first row, the
TS should be TR and TD should be TS.
This one?
Yeah, TR.
Here?
No.
The TD should be
inside
TH.
TR of header.
Inside the first TR that TD should be TH.
Serious? Oh, really? I did the mistake, see? You're expert than me. then you're in a good place.
Only for the base.
Hmm?
Only for the base.
Like that, right?
Sword we know.
Is it good now? Okay, why does the link doesn't come?
There's so many names. That's
Because link has no text, right? We should type something like my profile. Okay, great. Okay, so let's keep the structure simple, right? So we have this one, then we can implement our color like we added here in this hacker feature, and then we adjust the stuff, and then we created a table for doing exercise. I think I can create one more table, one more person add. So who's next? Anyone? Which is his name? Anas?
Yeah.
Okay. So you live?
In horse.
Aarhus. Okay, so something. So like that, right? Still, it's not that visible. We want to give some color, give some feel that it should, look beautiful, right? So we can do that. And how can I do it? Anything? Any idea? Like I can say style here, right? Style. What the style you want to give here? Font size probably. Font size 16 pixel. Padding 10 pixel. Oh, really? Like that, right? Okay. We'll continue this one. Let's go to this slide, here. So if you see, we have did something, right? We sort of like this one. We did this one, right? Some element h1, and then we did the styling, right? So in HTML, there's three ways you can insert the CSS. So one is like external file, and that is the external file, like you create a separate file and you save this styling and save it there and link the file. And that is called internal styling. It look like this one, this example. So you have seen that Svetlana have shown that in head tag, did you write something? She writes some title, right? And title, and in head tag we should write something like this. So it's switching because of this presentation. Okay, something like this. So this is the way we can write styling, and another is like we just did this way, right? So in our HTML file, you can see we wrote a lot of inline styling, right? Style tag, and we did some color, font size, padding, and whatnot. So I will share the file, and then you also need to apply some color here. We'll do it together. It's too much, screen switching. This one. I think I will not present it anymore. Okay. Let's copy this one. Copy Slack. So I posted this HTML in this Slack channel. So you need to copy, and in your HTML file you need to replace the file. First you need to replace, then secondly you need to put some styling here, some color inline. You don't create another file. Inline color, some heading, a title or a spacing or something, whatever you can do.
Should be.
I think
What's
if
the
Sarah
site for?
is their own class, class 06.
No, it's definitely different.
No, no.
Oh, yeah.
Is it class 6?
Yeah,
Right?
That's
Yeah,
class
class
6.
six.
We're not
Yeah.
in their own rooms.
What's the name of the Slack?
Channel 6, Class 6.
So Class06.
No, the Slack name is
Hack you, okay.
Hack Your Future without any breaks.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
Hack Your Future dash CPH. Like dash. Yeah, minus. No, just minus. Yeah, not underscore, but just the.
No.
Yes, and then CPH, like. No? It's just, I think that's the right one. I'm not sure. Yes. Yes. Like, yeah, so about communication for Slack, so it probably will be involved in most of the time. So yeah, please so what's the task to apply some style?
Some style, whatever they can feel.
Just like
Yeah.
put in all the
Yeah.
colors you like,
All the colors, yeah.
font size you like, to any object on this page. So can you go to Slack? You should box check it.
That's good.
Is everyone managed to copy the file?
Yes. Okay, so now you should be able to
Finish it with a semicolon. Crazy.
Did you manage to copy file?
Yes.
Yeah.
In between my
Sorry?
can just
But you can apply some color, some style. Do some whatever you like.
same code.
Same code, yes. You do semicolon. At least if they are ready with the code.
Again, I cannot help you with this. Wait, first, did registration. First, write your future dash ch. Then, is today first class?
Yeah, this is first class.
So they register today in the Slack, right? Update.
I think they did before.
Okay.
You didn't.
No, actually.
Okay.
So that's true.
So
So you can continue with your old, HTML file, the old one.
okay, forget about the
You
login
got it.
result. It's open, right? For them to sign up.
Yes,
for the invitation.
I think I'm not sure. Probably Christopher need to approve.
I know it actually.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the
Just-
agenda.
Yeah, exactly. But it all goes under the same stuff. It's all here. No, you just keep it as before, and you just add new things to the same.
Okay, like this one.
Yeah, you need like here you see you have multiple things. So you can also have the same. So you need this semicolon. Here you need this side, and then this side separates different attributes, and you have add as many.
And after every
Also, so you go to class C6, then you go to class C, and then you can
Select.
Oh, green. Oh, you can join this like one size does.
and then you have copy this text.
Same spec.
Yes. So you can now add multiple different font size or some kind of play around with colors or something. Yes, and then you go to the HTML.
You just continue with the old one.
Yeah. Well, why? Because we just
Have you been working with that font?
they should
You
have
can just
starting to do everything in position. But today we did it without position. Yeah. Yeah, the applications
You can actually so the passport apply some font size or apply some more stuff.
Okay. Okay, guys.
Yeah,
They're good? Okay. I want to have your attention again. So stop writing. So if you manage to download the file and try something, that's good. If you didn't manage to go to Slack because somebody didn't join, it's okay. You can use the one that we created in the first session, the HTML file with Svetlana, and just copy that file and move it to this folder. Then you are fine. And you can do it now, but we need to progress. So I have seen some of you have tried, some coloring and improving the page here. We have putting something here, right? Some color border and something like that. So I will try the same. But before that, we can see what our slide says. So in how many ways we can insert the CSS in the HTML file? 3 ways. One is a link, and there is a styling block, and there is the inline styling, right? So probably we can do for this exercise. We can try the second example because we tried the last one, right? Inline. So we can try the block, and then we can go for external. So I'm doing it because you'll feel the need. What should you do, and how should you do it, right? For instance, in the last slide. Okay, forget it. Okay, before that. So I asked a question here. What is the best way to insert CSS? Who can answer that? So we have 3 approaches, right? One is like inline and internal styling, and the external. What is the best approach you think? All agree external, and why is that?
Because it separates from HTML.
Sorry?
It separates from HTML.
Separate. Yeah, that's good. Any other reason?
For the performance wise.
Performance-wise. Okay,
If I have more page, then I can use one CSS file.
it's very good. So basically, there are 2 major reasons. One is like separation. So in one file, too many structure and too many styling is not a good idea. We should be always separated. And another advantage of making it separate, so you can share the same style with a different page. So if you have a page with a link or page, home page, about me, and many other pages, so you can share the same styling. So that is the advantage. So first, before we make the separate, so we have tried doing the inline styling. So we should try this styling, like internal styling it calls, and then we'll make them separate together, right? So let's do some inline styling. So some of you just did inline styling for doing some here background padding and writing many other properties here. So we can go and write here. Okay, before I write in this styling, so can anyone explain what is the this means, this part? We in the first example we said style equal color and colon and green. What this means? What is the first part means?
Property.
Property and then
Value.
value. Yeah, that's very important. We should keep remember. So if I go down to the second slide, no, sorry, here. So syntax. So okay, it's not visible, right? I can make it bigger. I'm making bigger and going small. Okay, really? Making it small and it's increasing the slide. Okay, that's cool. Good to know. So HTML has very simple rule. So whenever you type something, you should refer something. So if you write a styling and where you want to apply the styling, is it in some tag or somewhere, some place in the structure, right? You have a structure here, h1 tag, p tag, table tag, or some element, right? So you want to apply the styling in some element. So that is very important. You should refer the element, and you should open the curly braces and then write something. So it's always a key and value. So you write a key is called property, and the value is like what the value is, like color or padding or anything you call it. We'll see the example what the values options are. This is the way we should write. So basically one is a selector and there is a property name and the value. So this is very simple rule for writing a CSS. Any CSS we write today is this only one rule. Whenever you declare some styling, you should do that same format. For inline HTML, we don't need the selector. Why is that? We don't write the selector name like h1 or something. Like you can see the example here, p and curly bracket and then the property and the value, right? So we haven't wrote anything here.
We are already.
So it's inline. You don't have to declare the element because it's already you are setting the styling in the element, right? You don't need to refer that. But if you need to do the referring when you are writing outside of the element, for instance, we can write our styling here, right? So style. So if I want to move the styling here from here, so how can I write here? We can call h1 curly braces. So the simple rule, one is like which one I'm targeting now. I am targeting the header element, right? So h1 is a title here. I want to move the color from inline to inline block. So I'm declaring the h1 element and then I need to move, right? I need to call what? It's called property. So property is like, let's say it's called, I want to change the color, right? What I want to change? I want to change color. And what color it is? Let's say green. Or this time you can say red. So it reflects, right? So then I need to remove this one. And then see if it's changing. It's changed, right? So I did refresh and you can see the reflection here is from now green to red. So we have to move the same for the p tag here and for if you did some styling for table yourself. So for 5 minutes we'll do that together. So you need to move the styling for p tag and declare here in the inline block and the styling you tried before for table. So move everything here and remove the inline one.
But if we keep both,
Sorry?
if we keep both,
A good question. So let's see this example. So we just declare the styling here and you are also declared here. So which color it will come in this page? Who can? Sorry? Green. Any more answer? It will remain. It will take this one red or this one green.
green, it's like inline always. It's a green.
So who said red? Why is red? Why it's red? Any?
Because it's first and also because it's stronger.
Stronger in red color or
No, stronger like put it in style.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
instead
It's a
of-
separate tag. That's why you're saying okay. And who said the green? And why is that?
Because there's inline is always like
More
Coming after.
Let's see the magic. I don't know. I probably someone else will right. So it's green. So basically the precedence. So inline is always a high precedence. So if you declaring some styling here, it is always overrides because the reason is when we how this browser execute the contents. So you are writing something here, right? In HTML format, and your browser is very smart that can read HTML, and it's read itself and process and then display it to you, right? So it does what it go from up to top to bottom. So it says, okay, I am doing this line. Okay, I execute. I understand. I'm showing it. So you can see the title here, my first page. Okay, fine. So I'm executing some styling here. Okay, I remember this. I will use them. So I show this h1 and then this title. Okay, so now it remembers some color, and then it second time it has new color, so it reassigned, it get overrides. So basically that's why the inline in coloring has a high precedence, so it get replaced by the browser. So first it is try to put this red color, and then again it get a new instruction, okay, change it to green. That's why.
But if we put the green color inside the H1,
H1.
then which one will become first?
So here you want to
Yeah.
if I put here
Second line, another color.
here I should write something here,
Yeah, down. Another color.
here
No, not in H1. Yeah.
h1, yes, I should write what, green.
Another color.
Okay, orange, let's say.
Like color, no. Same, two color. Like color, first color green, and then second color red.
Okay, you mean say like this?
Yeah.
Then I would say you will get a error. It's like a declaring same property for twice. So browser will not complain. It will replace. Let's say if you say it's like orange or red, right? I can say red, and then I remove here. So I'm getting out of the inline. So inline always the high priority, right? So it's now. So it will it will say? It will say red because it will replace the first one by the second one. But if it is not recommended, then you will get some other error when you're executing code. And we will check that on how to validate our code HTML and CSS with some smart tool we have. But never do that. If you find something like this, you use delete one and then keep one. Okay. So the exercise for now, for 2 to 3 minutes, just move your inline styling to the block here. And if you're on Slack, I can share my styling here, so you don't need to write and type, spending time on. Just copy and paste in your head tag. Always do copy paste. Is a smarter way people do.
No, just try TR. And all the TRs stop. Okay. When you do this way, right? You can stop the line. It's a call TR, right? Yeah. So it doesn't so you have TRs. So it means it calls all the TRs. Okay. It's down and switch. So try on the color to the TR. Nice. Need help?
Yes, I need help definitely.
Okay, you're copying your yeah, it's not. This one's called first day HTML. Let's say it's offers, yeah? Control S, right? So color so let's start back up just in case.
Okay, guys, let's have a look again here. Are you all good? Did you manage to move the code to this block? Is it working for you? Great. So I can try the same. We can have a look here. So as you can see in this page here, it's not that readable, right? You don't feel the structure is good. Like I cannot see this is starting the name and the city and my profile is not like separated. It's like very close to each other. So how can I improve this one? So I just added some width in the TD. So I said, okay, let's put it a fixed size, 200 pixel. So I can save this one and then I added like that, right? So now it's more separated. So probably we can also do something, I don't know, it's like align. We did last time. Align equal, what was it? To make it left align, right? Or what? Like that. Align. Sorry? I think HTML is just align in HTML. We did last time, right, with the exercise. So it's all aligned to the left, right? So still I can do some improvement. For instance, I can give some, border here, some color. For instance, I can go and type something. So style border 1px solid red. So if you're not familiar with the 1px solid red whatever blah 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 thing, we'll be learning later. But just you need to focus. Okay, For writing a styling, we need two things. One is like this property and the value. So one is before the colon is the called property, and is the value. So I can do for the next one, next TD, and this TD. Refresh the file. It's look like that, right? I use a gray color, and then I can do the similar thing for this one here. For the next row. So it's look like this, right? At least it's look bit better than the previous one, which was not readable, right? Now it's look bit readable, right? So the exercise you just did, like you move all the inline styling to a block here, right? So can you help me how to move? I can move this line here, right? I can write what the syntax for the CSS? Do you remember? First is the selector, right? Element, whatever you want to apply the design. So what the selector is? P. P I want to apply here, right? P. And then what I need? Curly braces. That's simple rule. And then the third rule is I need two things. One is the property and the value. What is the property is here? Font size. So I want to do what? I want to change the font size. So it is called property. And what I want to change? Something, right? What is the change is here? It says 20 pixel, right? So I can write 20 pixel. And then I can just remove it here, right? That's it, right? You agree, right? So did it change? Did it work? Or how did I manage to do the exact thing I want to do? Probably I can do some debugging. I can see how is it working or not. So I can change the font size. Let's say 30, right? So I do refresh. It should reflect. Then I really move the code and manage to save the file. Otherwise, how do you know that it's working with the latest code? That's how you do it. So let's put it back to 20, right? And refresh. And now comes the trickier part. So we did very good for this too. And then how about this one? Let's do this one later. But this one, style. I did some color border, right, with the gray color. How can I move this one in here? Who can help me with that? Yeah?
You have to call in the table for the rows.
So first thing I need what? Selector, right? What I need? TD. Right? So I can write TD. Let's see, I don't know is it a valid syntax or not, but let's try TD. And then what I need to do? I just need to copy paste exactly, right? The same thing from here, cut, and then I can move it to this place, right? And then just to see if it's working, so I can from this first row on rather, and then I can remove this line and save and refresh the file, still see if it's working. Yeah, it's working. But to be sure if it's working, I can say okay, red. Yeah, it's working, right? The first row it's now red, so I can put it back to gray. So I need to be sure that it's working. Refresh. It's working, right? So yes, TD. Yeah, great. So I need to remove this one too, right? So Anas also got removed. Styling inline. I have the same style. So now I managed to move them, on top here. If I want to do more styling, like I want to say do something more. For instance, different font, not this font. I want to change the font family. Do you have any idea what these font familiars are? Like for instance, if you write in a Microsoft Word, you can select different type of styling of the font. So I can change this one. I don't like this here. So how can I do that? So one is way we can write again inline styling, or you can write here. So we are going out of the inline styling. So we should always write in a block here. So what should I do? I should create a selector again. TD, and then font family, and any favorite font family you have? Sorry, Lato. I don't know if it's available here. I don't know.
Space.
Let's say this one, Vardan or something. At least it should look different, right? Refresh. It start looking different, right? Did you see the notice? Did you notice the change here? Okay. So, can anyone imagine or can tell me what is the problem here? The way we just define the styling.
Yeah, there are two TD.
There's two TD, right? And what if you can use one TD instead of two? Just move this one, copy, and then paste, right? And remove this one, right? It should. I should put what? Semicolon. Very good. Actually, I have a slide for this one. I will talk this one later, but this is very important. So for CSS, it's very simple rule. It should have two things must. One is the curly braces and there's a semicolon. If it's more than one line. So if I can refresh, I'll see this change again, right? So it is always recommended that you always group them, group them into one. So if I see the slide here, so we managed to write our styling in the block with one selector with one styling, right? And now we just one selector have multiple styling, more than one. So one is the border change, and there is a font family you have changed. You can add more. You can say color, right? Color, what color you like? Blue. So it's all blue, right? So everything is changing. So what is the benefit of having this here? Why I said that don't use the inline block, inline styling? Why is that? Why it's not? Why it's okay? Not okay to write styling here?
You can use in
Like if I want to use the border and the font family and the color, then what I did, I applied in each and every TD, right? Everywhere. So I need to do repeated stuff. So this is a smart way I can group them here, right? So I just managed to somehow group them and then reusing this one, right?
And it's easier to read the code.
Exactly. It's also easier to read. Here you are putting a structure and too much, also some code, then you got lost what you are actually doing. So it's best way to organize your code and make it readable. That's why, as Sutlana mentioned, it should be human readable. It should be more readable. Your code should be. Yes. So I put the question here. So what is the best way to insert the CSS in your file? At least group them together, right? So we managed to group them. So, but we have seen the three way we can do. One is this inline, another is the internal styling. So we just make a style block and then we write there. And the best approach is the external file. So how can we do that? Any idea?
we can link.
Sorry?
We can link.
We can create another file. So external means like, so we have a bunch of styling here. We copy this one and save it in different file and then link the file. That's it. That's called external. So how can I do that? So I can create a file at least in the beginning. Where is my directory here? Here, for instance, I can create. No, I cannot create. I can create file here. I can say style.css. You can name it anything, but the extension is CSS. That's important. So whenever you are you want to save all the styling in one file, the file should be called .css. And you can name it whatever you like. So I'm putting in my same folder that I created week 1. So I save it there and then copy all this styling. You don't need styling tag because .css knows it's a style, so you don't need the styling tag. So I can cut and move the code here, right? Is it okay with you, or is it going too fast? Okay, fine. So I can remove the styling tag from here and save it, and let's see how our styling look like. Is it working? Voila, it's not working. Why is that? It's not linked. Yeah, we forgot to link, right? So how can I link that? So I need to link my the CSS file I have created, right? So somehow I can link. So how can I link? So we needed some way to link, right? And I don't know exactly how to link it. So let's Google it. Link CSS. Okay, you can type anything, so it will give you. So the best place is W3 School. So it will give you some example how to link. So it mentions there. So in head tag, you need to create a tag which can link your file. The styling is like this. So I can copy this same one I have here, copy, and then go to my head tag, and then I just copy paste. But here only one thing you need to change. It says the reference. Reference file is called theme. So instead of theme, what I have created here, style. So I need to call it style, right? Save it and save the board file. See dot here, it means it didn't save. So I need to save it. Yes. So I can go again, refresh my page, and it's working again, right? Okay. So I can share the styling here again, and you need to create the file and move the link the file to with HTML. There's a task for 3 minutes. Can you do that in 3 minutes? So again, I'm sharing in my code in Slack. If you are already in Slack, so you can copy that and just put there. So in 3 minutes, very quick. Who didn't manage to separate the code? Who not? No one. So then we can jump. You did manage? Okay. Who need help? You need help. So you have to CSS.css. Here is style. Can you just remove the style? You need to link this file. And try with the same. It's as capitalized. It should be the same name. Refresh. See if it's working. Yeah. Yes, now you need tag. You need tag. Is it the same search here. One thing left, I see of our HTML about CSS, and that's something that Okay, guys, let's move on. I think it's working for all, for most of us. So let's see what is the next. So you all still struggling, people? So who managed to link the file? Please look at here. You did? You not? Okay. Yes. Please don't do typing or things. Then you'll not follow the content here. So we managed to move our external code to external file and managed to link the file, right? And this is the way we should always work. And I want to do more styling here. It's all about styling, right? We should improve on doing it. So what can I do improvement here? Any idea? So I said, here and in TD, right here, TD. Oh, it looks in a sense a border with a gray color. What if I want to make a background with a like first line should be a some background color and the second line is different background color, right? How can I do that? So basically, we managed to separate the code. So if you are, selector here, so there's how many way you can select use selector. So one is like native HTML tag. So native HTML tag means this tag, like body, H1, table, whatever you can see. These are the native HTML tag. But if we have like more table like that, so we have this TD, right? And we applied this styling for TD and it applies for everyone. But I want to change something like only for the first, first line, first row. So to do, how to, locate only the same, the exit element is like using some reference. So it's called class or ID. So in CSS, you need to define some class or ID and then you can call the class or ID as a selector and do the styling there. So to do that, for instance, I can call this one the first row. First row I can call it's a ID, for instance. I don't know what's the best or not, but let's say it's a row 1, right? And the next one is row 2. Okay. So and then I can go here and then this is and what is the format to write a HTML CSS syntax? I need a first selector, right? What is selector for us this time? ID, right? Let's say for the first row is I call it row 1, right? Row 1, and row 1 is not a native tag, right? And it's called ID. So for CSS it's like a hashtag. For ID is hash and for class is dot. We'll see the class in the next exercise, but for now it's ID row, right? Row 1. So I can say row 1. What I said, some color, right? What is called this color? I want some background color. So I need to do something, right? What I need to do? Some background color change. It's called background. Background. So you can say background color specifically, right? And then what color I need to change? I don't know. Let's choose something from here, right? It's giving me some suggestion here. Let's aquarium or something. I don't know. It's some different name. Anyway, doesn't matter. Never mind. See, it's reflecting, right? So I want to change the color for the next one as well, right? So what should I do? I can create the same row 2 and then the background color. If you are using ID, it gives you this suggestion. Otherwise, it will not give you. You need to type this thing, and you can find a reference in internet. Many places I can show you. How can you find in later section? But I can choose some color here for now. This, for instance, brown. It doesn't look that good, but it's doing something, right? So now it's fine. So and then yeah. If I want to change something for, I think I need to change color. I don't like this one. Brown. This one is pretty close, right? Anyway, it's fine. So what if I want to change the, only for this name, name should be a different, not the, whole entire row. How can I do that? If I want to change the name only
Did the ID as well.
with a different font or different color or height or something.
Use class.
So I created a row, right? ID, and what is the difference between ID and class? So only one basic difference: ID should be unique always, and you declare like with the ID equal and the name. And class can be, you can reuse. You can declare once, and you can all the time call it the same thing. So if I want to change the name only, let's say I want to change this name, Anas and Anuradha, right? So I need something, let's say ID, right? Let's try with ID if it's a proper way to do it or not. Let's say is a name. So I want to change this thing, and then I can call the ID name. What should I change? Any styling you can imagine?
Font style.
Sorry,
Color.
color. Okay, it's too much color. Probably font size. Let's say font size. Okay, it's very simple. Font size. For instance, 22 pixel. I didn't save the file. So it started looking bigger, right? So if I want to apply here, what should I do? I need to do the same. Copy the CSS thing, and then I can put in here, and then refresh. It's working. But it's not recommended that you can declare the same. So basically here you are calling ID equal name, so you're creating, and again you're creating again. So it's not recommended that you have a same ID more than once. So ID should be unique always, right? But the browser doesn't complain. It still try to interpret something out of it. If you're not making unique, it will try to do something that give you the best experience it's possible. It can. Probably it's working in Chrome, but it will not work in some other old browser, for instance, right? So to avoid this problem, so we can call it a class. So I can name it a class, right? So, and it's not working because, can you tell me why it's not working? I just said it's class, it should work, right? So here I just declare the styling as a ID. I need to put a dot, right? Yes, great. So refresh, and it's working, right? So this is the way. Okay. And what improvement we can more do here? Any idea?
And the whole table in the middle.
Sorry?
The whole table, it will be in the middle.
No, don't think about the table, but probably here in the row or the block. Probably, I can think. Okay.
We could bring the text to the middle.
Middle, yes, that's good. So let's bring the text in the middle, right? So we can do this exercise very quickly for 3 minutes again. I will share my code. We'll try yourself. You'll try yourself. Then I'll do, and you can see if you can manage to do it. But don't take that many more than 3 minutes, because we don't have that many time remaining. Only half an hour remaining, and we need to finalize some of the slides, and then we need to talk about the homework we'll get, right? Okay, I'm sharing my code, and just give a try for 3 minutes maximum. So, and who are not in Slack, please don't bother. Just look at your friends who is beside you. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right. Sorry about that. If you're done, please help your, colleagues or friends, whatever you call it. So 3 minutes over, guys. Okay, let's focus on here again. So you give a try, no problem. You can see, do it more at home. Let's try to improve it here. So last time we created some ID and classes, right? So and then I said, okay, let's do something different here. So class, I just changed this, what do you say, font size, but I don't see that is that much visible. So I just thinking to do some changes here. Let's say, okay, text. So new styling, text transformation, transform, and then we can say all uppercase. I want to make it like remove the font height and then make it uppercase. So refresh. So it's all name is uppercase. Do you see the changes now? So I was not so happy about the font size. I said, okay, let's do something different, right? So that's you have done did some styling here. So there's another thing we can improve. For instance, probably I can say, you see, this color is like a, um, it's blue and blue. Everything is blue. So what if we can change the color for the first column and this third column? How can we do that? If I want to change the color for names and the profile links, how can I do that? Any idea?
You can use class. Yeah. Yes.
So let's use this one. So name, right? So I can change the color easily from this the name class, right? So what color, for instance, I want to use? For instance, any idea, guys? Come on, come up with some color name.
Salmon.
Salmon. There's another way you can write the color without a name. You can write some some code. You can call the color with some hash code. So it should be like this one, and probably you can write some number. I don't know, something with a six digit or something.
That's not salmon.
Sorry.
Just put salmon. You asked for the color.
It's the salmon, right? Oh, it's not that good color, right?
999.
999. I don't like this either. 333. It's still bit look good, right? I think you're a graphic designer. You said, right? You have a good color sense. Okay. So if I want to do the same change here in the profile link, how can I do that? You can help me how to do that. So I can do the same way, right? I can create again a class, and then I can call it a link. A profile. It's my profile, right? No or yes?
I think you have to put anchor tag.
It's reserved.
Okay, let's see. I don't know. Any confusion about the this class name? So probably it's better. I can say profile link, right? It's a good name.
No,
So
the
name.
guys are saying that if you just call it name, you can just start it in.
Sorry.
If you call it name, like the other class,
Yeah.
you can just apply the already made.
Oh yeah, that's true. But I want to keep it separate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because if I want to change again, I might change my mind. So it's another way to do it. So profile link, right? I think this is the last exercise I should do. So class profile link, I just copy paste and then creating the block as usual, and then I can style apply some color. So what is the thing? Color, right? And then color is, somebody says 333, right? And then I can refresh, and then it's not working. Why is it not working?
Inside anchor tag.
No, I did because I didn't save the file. No, before in the anchor tag, is it?
Put inside anchor tag the class name in the anchor tag.
Okay. For now, just
Because by default the anchor order is blue.
I understand. Yes. For now, just forget about the anchor tag. I just created another element to see that it's working, right? So you mentioned that I can just reuse the class name, right? So let's do that. Why? We can try that same. So if I do this, you reusing the name. So what will difference you expect? You get some color plus this text get capitalized. So I don't want that. I want the name only capital letter and the remaining is the difference. So I need a separate needs. I have a separate need, so I can create a different class for that. And class is always like if you want to apply that class in different places. So I want to apply here and here. That's why I need a class. Otherwise, I need a ID if it's unique. So I can call it a profile link, and then I can copy the same one and then use in the in here, right? And plus I can write some text here to see the reflection. It's working. It's working, right? Okay. So my intention was doing it so you can see as you mentioned, we can use the name, but actually it didn't work. That's why we created a separate, class. But it's a repeated. I want the same color in both places, here and here. How can I reuse the same color? We can reuse like this way, and it's very important to learn. So I can copy class name. Now I'm grouping the class, and then space, and then again dot, and then define the second class name. Sorry, it's a comma. Dot profile link, closing this, opening the syntax again, and then copy this one. Let's say copy this one, put here, and then I can do what? I can remove this one. I can remove this one too. So I'm putting both color in one, group them into one block. Refresh, and it's working. And to see if it's working or not, so we can again use the boring color, something like 999. You see it's reflecting. So I can go back to this 333. So I should make sure that it's working for me. It's working. So that's basically it's here. So the selector, we define some property and value, and this is a way you can use the styling. You can write a tag and do the some color, and then you can use ID with hash code, and then you can use class, and then you can also group them with the selector. So to group the selector is like you can use comma and then define your styling, then it's grouped. Okay, any question here, any confusion? No? Okay. So yeah, so we have seen that one. Yeah, we covered that one, and then yeah, somebody mentioned that we need semicolon, right? In the styling. So semicolon and curly braces is very important. And there's a smart tool. You can validate your CSS is correct syntax. So you can copy this one and then paste here. It's a W3 school or something. I don't know from where.
Provide us the slide.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. But for now, probably you can just bear with me with this one. Valid CSS. Okay. I can type again in the Google. Copy here, org, and then I can copy my file here. Let's say I forgot to give the comma here. I remove the comma, okay? And then copy, or at least one comma, and then copy, and then move, and then direct input here. If you're following, paste, and then I can say, okay, check my styling. So it will run and see. Okay, I found 3 errors. Line number 12, ID. So it needs its value and attempt to find a semicolon before property name edit. Line number 12. It's here, right? 12. So it's expecting before line number 12. It's expecting some semicolon and it can't find. So it's saying me here, right? So if your IDE cannot detect, like if here you can see it's a red sign, right? Small red signal, right? So if IDE is very smart, it can tell you what's problem here. But if you can do that, so you can always use this tool and validate use script. So I can do this one semicolon, and then I can copy and then paste again to see my things working. Check. So now you have 2 error. Earlier was 3 error, right? So this way you can validate your CSS and then accurate correct them. And next one is like row 1 value name background is not a color name. Okay. So if I go to line number 17, so 17 here, I said color something, I don't know, I can pronounce. This is the color name, right? And CSS value says I can find the color name. It's not valid color name. So why is that? Because there's something you should know. So the browser, all browser doesn't know all the color names. So color name is something like its browser can interpret. So if you say orange color or blue color, is it a light sky blue or is it a dark orange, light orange? So what kind of orange? So it did interpret by browser. So the Chrome browser can say orange is this color, and then the Safari can say orange is bit, color small slight change, and the IE can interpret different way. So to have the exact accurate color you want, so there's a way you can define the color with a hash code. So we have tried that one here somewhere. So with the hash code is here, right? So you just write the color name with the hash code, and hash code is with the hexadecimal number. If you are from computer science, probably you know the hexadecimal number is from 0 to F. It's a very complex zone, but you don't have to go there. So the easiest way you can write a hash code is like me, like amateur. If you are like me, then you can go, Google, ask Google, color picker, type this one. You can see it opens something, right? And you can choose your favorite color. Okay, I like this one. Probably we are talking about the orange, right? I like this color, right? Better. So it gives you the hash code here. You see, you just need to copy and then replace with the hash code and remove it. So it's called color picker. And then if I go, and then I should see some green orange stuff. See, the name has changed and this color has changed.
That apply even for the very common colors like white and black.
Yeah, so you can choose your color from here. So look at here, you can go any color you can imagine. So you can go and pick what the color is, and two way you can define. One is a hash code, and or also you can do the same. This RGB you can copy, and then you can come here and then replace. Again, it will work. Refresh, it's working. See, this color has changed. Did you notice that? Okay, great. So this is the way you can choose your color, and then it is called hexadecimal. So you don't have to go what is hexadecimal means and what the heck is this. You just need to Google it and find the color and just copy paste. Okay. Yes. So let's move on. Okay. Let's before that. Okay. I have 10 minutes remaining. So you have seen that I have used pixel. I'll talk about pixel and PEM in the next class, not now. I'm skipping this slide for this time. About the properties. So I said properties, like in HTML, CSS, the styling is like you define something is property and the value, right? So how do you know? I said, okay, text, I don't like this one, let's do transformation, text transform uppercase. And what are the things that I can actually get, I can do? And how do you know that? What are the properties are? So there's a very nice tool here. You can say, you can go to this W3 school and you can write or Google it, CSS properties, enter, and then click here. It will open reference. I don't think it's the right one. Let's go to the properties. Is it this one? All property. Okay, I can find the actually accurate link, but I can try that link here. Where is this one? CSS properties. So basically, this is the list. It's too long list, but I will give you more, good reference to read about. So you can see properties color. So you can change the color. You can line height, spacing, text alignment, is center, left, or you can do some text decoration. So this is all about text, and this is all about list. So you can, like in the previous example, you created some list with a bread and some items, right? So you can also do this styling. And you can do some border changes like we did here. We did some border here, right?
Would you send the link to Slack?
I will do that. I will actually aggregate them and then share later with you in the Slack channel, everything. So you can see this border properties and font, like we applied font family, font size, right? So you can also apply more properties here. So this is the just example. I will find more resource that can cover, for instance, at least you should know for this course, like background, text color, list, table, layout, positioning, links, or something here. And we did some exercise together. We did some color change, border, and did some styling. We covered this slide here. Okay, before we go to the homework, there's few important things you should when you want to submit the homework. There's few important rules you need to follow. I already tried to do the same unknowingly. So you need to follow some rules, some guidelines. Like for instance, if I tell you, okay, make a home page like that, and then put some image and put some elements here, and also put some styling with CSS. So whenever you write a file, a styling file, so you can write the file this way, but you need to follow some rules. Like for instance, if you see my code is readable, right? It's like a one element, one space, and then a bracket, and this indentation, like it's look more readable. If I do like this, for instance, remove this one, I moved here, I moved there. So is it readable? Do you think it's readable? I can read that file. It's not readable, right? I need to separate the code in a way that I can read things, right? Or even I can yeah, like this. So it's not readable. So you should make the code, follow this styling guide I have here. So first is like capitalization. So you never use any capital word here. It's always small letter. I mean here, not here. Like this is okay. Value can be capital. That's fine if it's needed. But for selector and the property is always small letter. So do not use any capital letter. First rule. Second rule, you need to do indentation. So meaning that this code is not readable. So you should make your code like that. So you need some proper spacing and with the line breaks. And there's like comments. I haven't showed the comments, but skip this for now. We'll talk about in the next class. And there's CSS validity. So whenever you write some styling here, you always go to the validator online and then validate your CSS, like we did, for here, right? We check our script is okay. And then naming. So always try to use a good, meaningful name for the ID and class. For instance, you have seen that, okay, I call it name, class name, and then this I call it a link, a profile link. Earlier I wrote a link, then I rename it to profile link, so it's more readable, right? If you start putting like class name ABCD, so I cannot pretend what is the purpose of the class. So give a proper, meaningful name. That's important. And there's no fixed rule. It's about like how do you feel, meaningful. And then the separation. So another way, for instance, here I have wrote two class have the same styling, right? So if you have a same class, more than one, if you see a comma, just do like that. So one line should be one selector, and then comma, and then another filter. So these are the pretty straightforward, simple rules you need to follow, and I try to follow all of them while we just wrote the exercise. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the homework. I have 5 minutes to cover homework. Let's see if I can cover that. So you need to basically click the link. It will open a GitHub repository somewhere. Yes.
You can post the link in the slide.
I'll share everything I'm covering here. So I believe you are all familiar with the GitHub because you did some pre-reading before coming to this class, right? So you should do the same exercise you did at home for the previous week. So basically you need to click link here and it gives some instruction. So there's some lot of reading material. So you should read in step 1, read and watch. You should read some book or description, theory or something, and then you can watch some video here mentioned. So it will cover this area. And then step 2 is Git feedback. So in a Slack channel, you can ask question, you can help each other. Somebody is struggling with finding and not understanding what the things are, so you can help each other, right? That's important, very important. And the assignment, the number step 3 is this assignment. So try to do something here. I don't know, it's too much work for us at the moment for this class, but we need to run very fast. As Christopher showed, how big is the module? It's only 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, we need to cover the HTML, and you should CSS, and you should be ready for JavaScript 1 module. So in JavaScript, we will not talk about the HTML, CSS. So you should be bit prepared for that. So that's how we are moving too fast. But I try to make it bit smaller. Not you don't have to do this homework for this time. I can show you how the homework would be like that, like this one. So you can see some. I said here logo is meaning this some picture is missing. So you can use a hacker feature logo. You can insert the logo here and create some link here about me, skills, and education. And basically, you need to create your own resume or your own home page, like sort of. So basically, you need what you name and you title what you are. You are a web developer, designer, or IT specialist, something, and then you write your small bio, you description, and your all information like your age, nationality, address, whatever you can share, and then put your picture here, and then try to maintain the styling, the padding, the spacing it has, and also link your profile. Like we showed the link, how to click the link and goes somewhere. So you can click here, it should open your LinkedIn or Facebook. It don't have to be LinkedIn or Facebook, you can use any links, but try to create this layer, design with the button and stuff, so you will learn actually real stuff. And don't focus on this button, click download. You just, if you can create the button and then show button is enough. You don't have to be click and download the file. So basically you just need to structure like that and put some style, and style shouldn't be like this yellow color or this and that. It can be anything, and this spacing can be anything, like it can be small space, it can be big space, or you can use different font. Feel free to use anything, but ideally it should look at least similar to that. Is it clear?
Yeah, but there are 2 items that should be included in the homework. Say a list and another list that includes the learning strategies, the use mechanism, resume. You have to do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. So for this time, you just skip what the homework is mentioned here. It's too much complex here for this time. So you don't do any assignment. Don't follow this one. Whatever we learned today, actually it covers everything to build this page. This page. Whatever we try the table, we try the list, and then we try the link. There's one small thing is missing, is a button. We didn't try it, but maybe you can Google it. Try to learn yourself. If you can't do that, you just put the question on the Slack, help each other, or we can help you. And we'll revisit the homework in the next class, in the first half an hour or 15 minutes, something like that. We'll review your homework. Any questions? So I will share this style with you in Slack and everything. I will summarize and then put all the links and slide and this design. So we'll do the homework in 3 steps. Step 1 is like you have some reading materials you should read and watch some video and then help each other. They're very important. And try to execute this layout. The one I will share.
But we don't need to submit it.
Okay, that's a good question. Very good question. Okay, hands-on the homework. How do you hands-on the homework? I thought I would have some time. I will go through the simulation. You can go open your GitHub and then upload things and submit your homework. But lack of time, we cannot do it. But if you are familiar with the GitHub, please follow the procedure here. But if you are not there yet, don't bother. You just go to Slack channel. Be sure that you are in the Slack channel at least. Then you can attach your file here. So you can attach this snippet, okay, index.html and the style.css file. These 2 file units, right? And then share here and then write, okay, my homework. Or the person, okay, please review, the mentor, please review the homework, right? Sorry? If you are familiar with comfortable with the GitHub, use the GitHub. But if you're not, if you don't know how to GitHub, so use this one. And next class, I will try to cover the GitHub, the primary thing, in 5-10 minutes. But make sure that you just read something about the GitHub. What is the GitHub and how can you use it? So I can, if I say something, then you can get it. Otherwise, it's too much. It will be again. You will be same problem. It will be too complex for you. Does it make sense? Make plan. Okay. So you are comfortable with the homework? Is it too complex for you or it's simple, right? So I'm not making it too much complex because you need to do a lot of reading material. So you'll be quite busy during the next week. Okay?
So yeah, if you have questions, of course, write it on the Slack channel, and then probably someone will be there that knows how to solve it. And
Yeah.
have we done feedback teams yet? So for feedback partners?
No.
I mean, it's